All right, you're all set.
All right. How is it going, Manatee County, your choice members? My name is Marcus Harris, and I am your registered dietitian contracted with the county, also fitness specialist. Today, we're going to go over a few things. So, for all of you who do not know, this is National Men's Health Month. Yes, it's the month of June. It is time for us to think about taking care of ourselves, not just taking care of the household, taking care of all the things that uh, our life requires us to do, being a husband, being a father, being a manager, or whatever the case may be. The month of June is dedicated to men's health. So I want to share with you some ideas that could help us just thrive a lot better. We can go through certain things in life, not really know what is going on, why these things are happening. So we're going to share some ideas with you and hope that it kind of can enhance some of the awesome things that we're already doing, and maybe just share some ideas and some nuggets and some things that maybe we haven't quite thought about, and just provoke us to just do better and take care of ourselves. So with this first segment, it's going to be a three-part series. The first part is going to be more so of an introduction as to some of the risk factors that we all go through as men that are just really high on the totem pole. A lot of things that we have in our control, we'll bring light to some of those things, find out why, find out what things that we can do as we get through this segment. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share these things with you. This isn't, I want everyone to know this isn't something that Marcus, your dietitian, has all in a bag that he's doing perfect. I have learned a bunch of things as well. So I'm a lot like you, getting those checkups and just doing everything in my power and in my will to do better and thrive is something that needs to be prioritized as well. So as we go through these segments, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me at contact_us at 2020nutrition.net. That's where you can find, or you can go to the county's website and you can find my contact information there. So without further ado, we're just going to get through some of these slides. I won't take up too much of your time, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I just wanted to put that out there. All right. Here. Oh. There we go. So the big five, here we go. The big five are cardiovascular disease. These are the top things that will impede our health. These are things that are the biggest threat to men's health. Cardiovascular disease, lung cancer, prostate cancer, depression and suicide, and also type 2 diabetes. These are all things that threaten our well being, threaten our quality of life as we age and we mature. So we'll dig through some of these just to share some ideas with you and just help us stay abreast, stay in the know, in the now. So with cardiovascular disease, it includes coronary heart disease, uh, heart arrhythmias, heart failure, heart valve disease, and also hypertension. Guys, it's so important for us to ensure and make sure that we are on top of our game in terms of knowing our blood pressure, in terms of knowing what our, like I went to another slide here, knowing all of our lipid levels, meaning our LDL, our HDL, and not throwing those things under the rug because we feel like it's not important enough. Oh, I'll get to that. I'll cross that bridge when I get there type of mentality. Or I'll put it off. It can't be that serious. As long as I'm feeling good and I'm waking up every day, I'm able to go to work and still get my day-to-day duties done. Everything must be fine. Well, as you know, and as you've probably already heard before, that a lot of these symptoms could be one of those silent, sneaky risk factors. Okay. while the disease is called the sneaky heart disease, because again, we don't realize these things. We get up, we go to work, and we go through our life, and maybe we don't feel it as much, and then boom, it just hits us like a Mack truck. Why? Because we're not constantly monitoring ourselves and getting these updates and getting these follow-ups with our primary care. All right. So some of the things that are risk factors could be just a predisposition from birth. It's let's keeping it real. It's the cards that we are dealt. Okay. Some people already start closer to the edge than others. It is what it is. Those are things that we cannot control. Things that we can control is lack of physical activity, poor diet, and controlling our blood pressure with physical activity, sometimes medication, even if it's a very, very small dosage, whatever the case may be. That's where meeting with your primary care on an annual or semi-annual basis will come in handy and really just lower your risk factors. Okay, things like diabetes, meaning weight control. Okay, I'm sorry, I said diabetes, obesity, just overall weight control and weight management. Now, I understand that maybe we're not going to get to the ideal BMI. Okay, and I understand that if you are 250 pounds and you're a 5'8" male, and then you make it down to 200, that's not telling you much about your overall health because you are getting healthier. What I am saying is that good weight management, good weight management could be one of the deciding factors to really drastically lower your risk factors for these things. So how do we do that? We control that with good food plan, good food pattern, and food choices, as well as a consistent physical activity. Many of us have physically active jobs. That's great. It may not be a bad idea to start a very small resistance program, meaning lifting weights 2 to 3 times per week, maybe not going more than 2 days without getting a good exercise. Controlling your LDLs, which is your bad cholesterol, ensuring that you have good HDL, which is your good cholesterol, is a very wise idea, or at least knowing your numbers. That's where it starts. Okay. Being over the age of 45. Why? These are just things that we know. It's just what the numbers say. Being over 45 and male puts you at risk for cardiovascular disease. Ethnicity, African American, Mexican American, American Indians. All of these are risk factors for, or increased risk, I should say, for having cardiovascular disease. Again, maybe this is something in your deck of cards. What we do have control over is our choices. We don't want to be 1 out of 4 of those males that deaths are related to heart disease. We have full control over that. Everyone has a clean slate. We can do this, guys. Regular checkups, making sure and ensuring that we know at least our numbers, and we're being accountable to what? Proper nutrition and physical activity. Lung cancer, believe it or not, the leading cancer killer of both men and women in the US is lung cancer. Men are diagnosed with lung cancer at higher rates. 1 in every 15 for men will develop lung cancer over their lifetime, as opposed to 1 in 17 women. I will say that 13 to 29 are related to occupational exposures. So meaning our work, what we do for a living. Metal workers, plumbers, painters, construction. There are things that they are hazardous materials that are in our day-to-day lives, especially if we've been on the job or been around the same types of work for years and years and years. Those things could be a detriment to our health. So what we do is we take those precautions, wear your PPE, your protective gear, and ensure that you are well aware of many of the hazmat material that you're working with. Uh, I'm a lot like you. I was in the military, so and I worked in aviation. We had so many hazardous material. There was a book this thick with all the uh, hazardous material that we worked around. And what do we have to do? We had to take the extra precautions, wearing the gloves, wearing the mask, wearing the proper PPE to not expose us to certain things. So just keep that in mind. So the kicker here is 90% of lung cancers in men are related to smoking. So if you are a smoker, we have control over that. It may not be a bad idea to entertain the smoking cessation courses, which are provided by the county as part of your benefits. So it may not be a bad idea to do that if you are serious about lowering your risk factors for lung cancer. We don't expect it to be easy, but you don't have to change everything, but you do have to change some things. That is, if you want to lower those risk factors. So we have control, guys. We totally have control. Prostate cancer. Next to skin cancer, prostate cancer is the second most diagnosed cancer in men. But here's the kicker. This is one of the ones that it doesn't have to be life-ending, right? These are things that we can stay ahead of, guys. If you go get your checkups and you are very in tune with what your health is and the way that it is going, one of the best ways to do that is to book your appointments. Don't cast it to the side. Go get your checkups. Why? Because things that are caught early, you can do something about. Things that are, not to say it's never too late, okay, but things that are caught later, it's more difficult, more challenging to help with that recovery and ensure that things will go in your favor. So with that said, one of the great things about the county insurance is that you have this in your benefit to go get those regular checkups, and you can really lower your risk factors, or at least catch things early and totally change the course of the deck of cards that you do have. Why some people get prostate cancer, why some people don't, we don't know. But what we do know is that people who catch it early are typically people who are able to increase their quality of life and not having to go through the burden of the end stages or some of the aggressive approaches to getting you well. So just something to think about, something to really consider. Screening is super important, fellas. It really is. Screening consists of a digital rectal exam and a blood test for PSA, which is prostate specific antigen. Prostate specific antigen. So, and again, the prostate gland is responsible for keeping the male reproductive system on track. Just something to think about. Something to think about, fellas. If you want your male reproductive system to stay on track, consider your prostate. Okay, consider your prostate. Please don't skip your yearly checkups. This will put you in a driver's seat. Depression and suicide. We know how this is. There's nothing wrong with me. I can handle it on my own. I got this. These are the things that we go through our heads, and it's not okay. It's not okay. Unlike women, men are far more likely to suffer from depression in silence. Thus, many signs go unnoticed. This is not okay. This is Men's Health Month. This is why we're doing this, so we can bring up to the light, hey, you know what? Maybe I am going through something, but I just don't know how to discuss it, or maybe I just don't know how to even get it out. I don't know how to deal with it. Maybe I don't know. I don't realize something is wrong. So these are all things that, as men, because we are who we are. We bottle these things up and we take it with us because we're a man's man, but it's no good for anyone. It's not good for yourself. It's not good for your family. It's not good for your coworkers. We want thriving people to go to work with better energy and a better mindset. And it's just overall self-care is what this is. It's self-care. It's okay to go talk to someone. It's okay to actually talk these things out and actually come up with a strategy. That's what we fail to realize when we are in a state of depression or we have our lows. Sometimes it's not about telling the person in front of you, the therapist or the practitioner in front of you, all the things that has ever happened through you to you through life, but it's more about the game plan and the strategy. This is where I am now. This is how I can get better. This is where I am now. This is what I'm feeling. Where do I go from here? It's a strategy game. How can we strategize to feel better on the day to day? We don't have to be in a slump. You'd be very, very surprised of the things that the therapists and the practitioners can come up with, just simple things to just make us feel better on a day to day. So I say that to say, go speak with someone. It doesn't have to be a therapist. It can be a health coach. It could be a life coach, which the county has. It can be me. I'm a registered dietitian. I have a strong background in counseling as well. So it can be anyone who you feel comfortable with, that you feel good sharing and clicking with to actually progress from maybe some of the issues that you may have, whatever it may be. But feeling on edge, loss of interest in work, family or other things that you once liked. These are all signs of depression. Issues concentrating, remembering details, sleep issues, changes in appetite, alcohol and drug abuse, withdrawing in isolation. These are all things that maybe we don't realize, or we don't maybe even sometimes even accept. Like, no, I've had the same friends since I hang out with the same friends. Well, how are those friends? What is their life like? What type of company and entertainment do you all share together? Is it healthy? Is it a healthy one? Is it beneficial, or is it a band-aid or a crutch? These are all serious conversations to consider. Is this helping me, or is this overall hurting? I say that to say we don't have to be in a funk every day going to work. Everything sucks. Forgive my colloquialism. But what we can do, guys, is actually look on the bright side of things, think outside the box, and at least consider. All right, if these are the things that I may be dealing with, well, guess what? Maybe I can talk to someone to just strategize. Maybe nothing's wrong, but it doesn't hurt to try to go talk to someone. Maybe everything is going great. You can still go check, just as a comfort check. You can always do better. So we can think about just progressing, in a sense, in how you feel. You never know how you feel until you find yourself feeling better. So that's one way to think about it. You may think everything is fine until you go and you do a check, a comfort check is what I call it, and you figure out, wow, you know what? I didn't consider that. Maybe I could be feeling a lot better about X, Y, and Z situation. Feeling better about sleeping. Maybe feeling better about the company that I keep. Maybe that company wasn't as good for me. Maybe this is impacting these areas of my life. Maybe work is impacting these areas of my life because I am not sleeping well. Maybe the relationships that I have at work are really eating me up because I'm not dealing with them in an appropriate way. Maybe I can talk to someone to help smooth that part out. All right. I had to spend a little time on that because I know how we are as men. Nothing's wrong. I can take it all. I'm the man. Talking to people is for females. No, it's for humans. It's for us. It's for everyone. Everyone deserves to feel their absolute best, right? So I'll leave that alone. Just wanted to throw that out there, guys. All right, type 2 diabetes. This is one of the ones that goes hand in hand with a few of the other ones that we touched on. Okay, type 2 diabetes is a metabolic disorder that occurs when glucose, which is your blood sugar, is too high, and we call that hyperglycemia. There are, believe it or not, there are more than 100 million Americans living with prediabetes or diabetes. With prediabetes or diabetes. The risk factors include family history. Again, this is the deck of cards that we have. So sometimes some people start out on the edge, but that's not your doom. Okay, it's not to your demise. Don't think about it like that. You have total control. Everyone gets to decide how they're going to treat their own bodies. I totally believe that, right? And for those of us who do have blood sugar issues already, you have total control of management. So it's not diabetes that kill people, that give them a plethora of complications. It's the uncontrolled diabetes. That's what it is. It's, hey, I have high blood sugar. I'm not going to take my medication. What the hey? I'm going to do what I want. You don't have to change everything. You definitely must change some things. Being overweight or having obesity, being older, living a sedentary lifestyle sounds familiar with the cardiovascular, right? Many times you'd be surprised that they go hand in hand. Very seldom will you have someone who has diabetes without blood pressure issues, without cholesterol issues. So many a times, if you really think about this, I don't want to get in trouble for saying this, but you look at cardiovascular disease, if you look at how many of those things are accompanied by diabetes, you'll find that it's very highly correlated. So yes, cardiovascular disease may be the leading cause, but how much of that was caused in conjunction with type 2 diabetes? Very interesting. So lack of exercise and weight management will increase your risk for type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes can affect our sex life. Why is that? It's about blood flow, guys. It's about blood flow. So you need blood flow below the belt to make it happen. Diabetes, when you have elevated blood sugars within your bloodstream, you're going to get poor circulation. We need high circulation. That is, if you want better sex life. It is what it is. So if that's not a motivator, maybe these other things are. Unexplained weight loss. It's your body image. We care about our body image. Extreme hunger, erectile dysfunction is what we're talking about. Sores that won't heal. All of these are circulation issues here. Okay. So it's like one thing for circulation that kind of springs and it bridges off to other areas. Tingling and numbness in hands and feet. That is what we call some complications with our nerves. Okay, which is also, again, it bridges from circulation issues. Excessive fatigue, when your body's constantly trying, your body doesn't want to be high elevated blood sugars, but once it's fighting that, it's constantly dealing with that. It's going to take a toll on your body and the way it functions. Frequent urination. Your body has a machine in it. It's like it wants to be balanced. So if you're running around with high amounts of blood sugar on average, your body wants to auto-regulate itself. So excessive urination kicks in to try and lower some of the abnormalcy in your bloodstream. Dry skin and excessive thirst. All those, again, are just signs of your body trying to survive. taking it to the next step, we want to thrive. We don't want to just survive, guys. So how do we do that? We become active. Once you become active, you automatically increase your blood flow. So it will bring the response back to insulin. So you want your insulin to respond to your muscle tissues by allowing the sugar in your bloodstream to go into your muscles, where you can store up more energy to do more work. All right. So that's how exercise will naturally lower your blood sugar and your A1C. Okay. And you're also increasing that blood flow. So I think it takes two to tango. You want to exercise with some form of weight training or body weight training, and then you want to do some form of cardio. You don't have to run for cardio. You can go for a brisk walk. You can get on a bike if you want that lower impact off of your knees. You can do water aerobics. You can find any activity to stay consistent, and this will definitely lower a lot of those risk factors. Okay, so these were our top five. These were our top five. So going back through it, we had cardiovascular disease, we had lung disease, cancer. We have prostate cancer. We have depression, and here we have type 2 diabetes. These were our main five. As we go through the series, we'll talk about, well, what do we do about those? Where do we do? How do we cope? How do we hash these things out? What puts you in the driver's seat? So for the next two series, that's what we'll go over. What do we go from here? Where do we go from here? So these were just touching on the introduction, just to get our brains soaking, get our minds going, gives us some information about what is at the helm of the risk factors for most men, just in general. So again, if I have said something in this presentation that you would like for me to go over or share with you, or maybe I said something that may prompted you to, I heard that one, I want to hear more about that. I heard that one detail, that one fact, I want to know more about that. You can totally contact me, and I'll be more than happy to get with you and answer and put our heads together. You do get 5 free sessions with the registered dietitian. And if you have any of these things going on right now, you can utilize me for one of your hip sessions to satisfy this for the hip program as well. So feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Marcus Harris. I'm your registered dietitian, and I'm also a personal trainer. You also get 5 free personal trainings at no out of cost for you. And then if you want to go past that, there may be a copay of $25 for your nutrition sessions, and the rate is negotiated for your training if you go past 5 after that. So I look forward to seeing you all on the next segment. Please be on the lookout for it. We will be going over some of these diseases and some of these complications and risks, and find out what we can do to put ourselves in the driver's seat. So thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next one.